So I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about tongue diagnosis and pulse diagnosis. These are two primary forms of diagnosis that almost every acupuncturist uses nearly every day. And we'll start with the pulse diagnosis, and we'll tell you that it is important because there are 3 different positions on each arm, 3 different pulse positions, and there are 2 depths at each of these positions. And so 3 positions on the superficial and 3 positions on the deep level give us 6. Have the same thing on the other arm, and that gives us 12 pulse positions. Each of those positions is associated with one of the 12 energy channels that we use in acupuncture and Chinese medicine to help balance your body. And so what we're doing with those pulse positions is we're feeling for the quality of the pulse there. Obviously we're looking at the rate as well, but it's going to be the same in all of them. You only have 1 heartbeat. But what's important is that they are different in quality at each one. And so each of these positions is related to a channel, and it tells us something about what's going on in that channel. If the pulse feels full, if it feels hard or thready, it could mean one thing, where if it feels weak or soft or almost unable to find it, it can mean something else. And so this is one of the primary things that we use in Chinese medicine because it gives us a snapshot into your internal health. You can tell me about the symptoms that you're having, if you're having headaches, if you're having back pain, if you're having allergies, but you may have forgotten something. It'll always show up in your pulse. Well, there may be something that's developing and hasn't fully come to the surface yet, and that will also show up in the pulse. So sometimes it's not always the most specific information, but it is very reliable information because your body is always expressing its internal health. It can't help but express its internal health, and that's a reflection of what's going on in the pulse. And so we're feeling exactly what's going on inside at that time. Tongue diagnosis is very similar in that it's a microcosm of the body. We take the tongue and we break it into different zones, and each of those zones has a channel that it's associated with. And so what we're looking for in those zones is changes in color of the tongue, changes in what we call geography, which may be cracks or bumps or indentations in the tongue. Those are all important things, and they tell us not only where is the problem, but what is the nature of the problem. And these things can change quite rapidly. We can find that before a treatment, your pulse may feel one way and it feels drastically different at the end of a pulse. It's a great way to confirm if what we're doing is working. Same thing with the tongue. It changes a little bit more slowly, but depending on the condition, it can change quite rapidly. And so these are some ways, along with other things, that we use to gather information about your health and help you get the best treatment possible. So here are a few things that you can do yourself to find out how your body expresses itself within your tongue and pulse. Very simple. Just throughout your day, pick a day, any average day or not so much, but feel what your pulses feel like. Feel what they feel like first thing in the morning. Feel what they feel like after you've been in traffic for a little while. Feel what they feel like after a meal. Feel them at the end of the day, and see how the qualities in your pulse change. It takes a lot of practice to be able to glean medical information from your pulses, but it doesn't take a lot of practice to be able to notice differences. And so see how it feels. See how your pulses feel after intense or stressful events as compared to relaxing and enjoyable events. And I think you'll start to notice really soon that there are lots of changes at all of the positions. Try changing pressures, see how they feel. You'll notice that they're quite dynamic. Your tongue's the same way. Find out what your tongue